Turn it over to Rick.
Let me introduce our speaker for today. I've got his resume here, but I'm not going to read it, it's too long. But Rick, I think all of us know who he is. He's done a lot of things in the community, and the thing I think that he's really excited about, and I think a lot of people are, is the Lincoln Museum. Rick has been assigned that duty. He's going to take the responsibility and open that up, and then he's going to share with us today what that means to the community. So, welcome, Rick, today.
Hopefully you can hear me. Am I coming through clear? I was already advised, don't let your voice wane or else we could use, oh, that sounds creepy. Well, thank you all so much. Yesterday, what I did at the Rotary Club, last time I was here, oh, by the way, I thought James Austin would be here. He gave me this hat, so I wear it in his honor, and so it's not a sin to wear a hat in church, is it? Just want to make sure. Partially. All right, I'll get absolution later. Absolutely. But anyway, last time I was here, I do appreciate you all. I had launched this project called ATL, All Things Local, ATL, All Things Lincoln, which is a streaming service that we can stream anything live from Lincoln Parish right to your phone on multiple platforms. So I tried to incorporate that yesterday in my presentation. The only problem with that is that when I was going through the slides, it wouldn't come up on the stream until 45 to 50 seconds later. So I got to work to figure out a way to work my brain. We're not going to do that today, but I am going to record this for you, for us, for the museum, as we go through a presentation as to what's happening. I do want to share a quote. I may have shared it last time I was here. I do not know. Allegedly, and I use that word, Johann Wolfgang Goethe wrote this: "Until one is committed, there is hesitancy to draw back. Always ineffectiveness. If you're not committed, you're going to be double-minded, unstable in all your ways. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there's one elementary truth, that the ignorance of kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one, you, me, we, definitely commit oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that never otherwise would have occurred." You all have that story in your life as well. If you didn't make that decision at whatever time in your life to make that commitment and then proceed, be it in a career, be it in marriage, be it in community, be it whatever, all sorts of things occurred to you that never otherwise would have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents, meetings, material assistance, which no one could have dreamt come his way. So whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it, because boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. So everything old is new again here at the Lincoln Parish Museum. It's been closed down for 2.5 years, so we've launched Operation Reboot. It's time to turn the page in the chapter of the Lincoln Parish Museum where we give thanks for our past. We're going to consider the present while we grow to the future. We all know the challenges, changes, and uncertainties of the past couple of years. The cloud of COVID has been over us. Some people will see that we are in a different state right now. We very well may be, but we have a tremendous opportunity to have a second renaissance. That is where we can create a remarkable future. So the museum, a show of hands, how many here have been to that building? I would dare say, really, this table is, oh, you raised your hand? Is it just, oh.
I've been there twice.
Been there twice. Okay, so we have.
Ever or just recently?
Ever in your life. I mean, this is about, yeah, ever. I would dare say it's 100% participation in this room. So we have an opportunity, because there are generations that have never been there. And there are people who have lived in Ruston that have never been there. You compound that with the 2.5 years of COVID and the shutdowns, out of mind is just out of mind. So we have a chance to start a second renaissance. We have an opportunity to create a remarkable future for this parish. By the way, you're all talking about your centennial. Next year is the Sesquicentennial of Lincoln Parish. Did you know that? 150 years of Lincoln Parish history next year. My goal is, I would make our goal of the whosoevers in Lincoln Parish, because this is open to all. And if there's anybody from Shudrin here, you're welcome in as well. Kip, you and your people from Shudrin be welcome in. They're in Lincoln Parish. Pea Ridge, we may have to, no, well, anybody from Pea Ridge here? Okay. But anyway, we have that opportunity to make that space Sesquicentennial Central for all things Lincoln Parish. And that's my long-term goal, and setting up the, getting our house in order, if you will. So we have a major task in front of us, from cleaning up the house, literally organizing the house, getting everything, and I mean literally everything, back up where the house is presentable, including air conditioning, the gazebo in the backyard. We all know about the tornado. We all know about the hurricanes that came through. The tornado knocked out the oak tree in the back, which knocked out the gazebo. Well, all sorts of things have happened. And what do I mean by that? Burt Jones already has the wood. So that's ready to come back and be reconstructed. But the lands in the back, they need some TLC. So that's going to be a whole gardening project. So the second renaissance of the Lincoln Museum. So I've already started an initial wave, and some of you have contributed through your membership, and I do appreciate that, or I should say we. Whenever I say I is we in doing that. And I'll put together a capital campaign as well to mount, because there's going to be extensive opportunities for us in the community. So what's old is new again. Ecclesiastes 1:9 simply says this: that which has been is that which will be, and that which has been done is that which will be done. There's nothing new under the sun. We don't need to rewrite history because it's already been written. But there is a whole generations that we need to tell it to, and that's what this place can be. So the cyclical way is, would you say Ruston is or has become a mural town in the last 15 years? More murals are up in Ruston than ever have been. Well, for those that have been in the museum, you may or may not remember, you walk in, there are murals all throughout the place. That was a cooperative endeavor back in 1978 with Louisiana Tech students, painting murals of the Chautauqua, of the history of Lincoln Parish. So that which is old is new again. There's nothing new under the sun. There has been a tremendous collaboration, corroboration between Louisiana Tech and the people of Ruston. Now, I know Dean Jacobs is here. Who knew that we had a college in Ruston before Louisiana Tech? It was Ruston College. I didn't know that. The one beautiful thing about this for me, ignorance is curable, stupidity is a choice. So I didn't know that. And the Chautauqua movement. And anytime I tell a story, and you can correct me, please correct me, because I'm just passing along what I've heard. That's called hearsay. But one of the reasons I understand that Louisiana Tech came to, or should I say Louisiana Polytechnical Institute, came to Ruston was because it's my understanding, it was initially being pushed for Athens, Louisiana, in Claiborne Parish. Well, because of this Chautauqua movement, who's familiar with the Chautauqua movement of the late 1800s, early 1900s? And on a side note, one of my first ideas, what will be the first thing we do at the house once it becomes presentable? I'm thinking about, let's have a Chautauqua on the Chautauqua. Because that was a movement that was nationwide, and Ruston was chosen as a go-to place, Lincoln Parish. So here you had a hunger and thirst for education, knowledge, wisdom, understanding in the form of a Chautauqua movement. You already had university. The legislature said, what are we going to go to Athens? Let's put it in Ruston. So the reason why Louisiana Tech is here is because of the people and their hunger and thirst. It's not that Ruston's here because of Louisiana Tech. It's a symbiotic relationship. And so that's part of the history that we need to celebrate together. Simple, the goals that I have are, if I have them here, I was trying to put this together. I don't have it. Okay. To grow the awareness and the relevance of the Lincoln Parish Museum and Historical Society. Simply by one, what? Get as many people as possible to come there as often as possible. 2, to get as many people as possible, to get as many corporates as possible or businesses as possible to invest as much as possible to get as many people as possible as often as possible. And then 3, have as many reasons as possible to achieve 1 and 2. The reasons will be events, exhibits, education, and excuses. Anybody have a wedding there? Or attended a wedding there? It's an event place. This place, 609 North Vienna, the term holy, sometimes we use the word and we're not fully understanding of what the original definition of holy is. It's not a religious sanctimonious, my halo glows better than your halo. Holy simply means set apart. So when the Creator said, that land is my land, I set it apart, we call it the Holy Land. For some reason, we have gotten through religiosity, I'm thinking, that it's holy. No, it's just set apart. My people are set apart, therefore, my holy people. So to me, this is a set apart land that has been set apart since 1976, that borders 609 North Vienna, and then on Trenton Street. And it's a space and a place where the communities, the parish, can come together to have the events, to have the education, as well as to have the exhibits. Clarence Falk. I'm fascinated about what I'm finding there. By the way, I got to keep an eye on the time. I know I can. You open up a drawer, you don't know what you're going to find. You open up a door, you don't know what you're going to find. Well, what is this? This is Queen Dixie Gem of 1953. Just sitting in the closet. You know, obviously it's a relic, but it's neat. It's part of Lincoln Parish history. Clarence Falk. Anybody know that name? Okay, it smiles.
He was a charter member of Ruston, Kiwanis.
Charter member of Ruston, Kiwanis, and he probably flew you all on Delta Airlines to the annual Kiwanis meeting at no charge, right? Because he could. But Clarence Falk, at the museum, back when he was, he bought the Leader and KRUS. I better stick to the script because I'll fly all over the place. Anyway, back in the 50s, 1950s, he had a campaign where he would pay a tech student $25 if they would paint Escape of Ruston. So there are 11 paintings from 1950 to 1960 in a hallway at the museum that depicts life from Lincoln Parish in the 50s. Now, to me, I want to find out who those painters are. They may be still around. They may have a story. So I say that because I'm planning to incorporate the video streaming so I can tell the story to those that can't come to the museum. And not only will it be ATL, all things Lincoln, all things local, once you put it out there, it's out there for everybody to see, and so that'll become a showcase for Lincoln Parish and what we have. By the way, I wish I had a camera to watch your faces. When I say the name Jack Ritchie, shook his head, smiled, nod, okay. What would you say to listening to 6 hours of Jack Ritchie talking to Wiley Hilburn about growing up in Ruston? I have it. It's already online. I haven't opened it up yet because I have some friends that I trust to make sure that it's appropriate to put out in public. But it's 6 hours of Jack Ritchie, and then some won't know, but he's talking about growing up in Ruston. So there's an audio file. So taking and merging the social media, oh, by the way, I got boxes of cassettes of that just need to be transferred to digital, and then people can go up. Everybody's on their phone these days. You can listen to so-and-so talk about so-and-so about, and it's just a rich history. So back to Clarence Falk. I want to share this one story, and I need corroboration. And I got this from Billy Green. What do you know about the founding of Delta Airlines? Crop duster. Keep going. Keep going. So far we're right, but you know, this is Paul Harvey, the rest of the story.
Well, the owners was Clarence Falk's dad.
Why? You're right, that's what I heard. Here's the story. Clarence Falk's father owned the Monroe News Star World Telegram, whatever it was called. He decides to sell that property. He goes into Central Bank in Monroe one morning to sell it. In comes a crop duster. Well, this crop duster, which I knew his name, and you know what's really amazing is I'm trying to do research to get the year and to get the name so I can confirm this. It's really hard to find if you're going to Google, so that's why it's important for all of us to, you know, come together and load me up or load us up with information to corroborate. But the gentleman, whomever that man was, the crop duster, had heard about a new venture coming to the United States. Guess what that was? Airmail. So he needed a bigger plane to fly airmail. So he went to Central Bank for a letter of credit. He got rejected. Well, back to all manner of unforeseen events will stream your way. Clarence Falk's father is in the lobby of Central Bank, overheard and said, "How much you need, son?" He had the money, he invested it, and the rest, as they say, is history. So that's the, you just never ever know. So that's a Clarence Falk story, and please pass that around, and if you find out any difference, please let me know. A guy by the name of Smith.
His son owned Royal Airlines out of Houston.
Okay.
He died about 10 years ago. The great-grandson owns the car wash on Hearn Avenue in Shreveport.
Well, you're giving me an idea. I want to do tales from the front porch. If you smoke cigars, we'll smoke a cigar, maybe have a sip of whiskey. Explain more, and you know, and we just capture that. Plus, if you stream it live, people can chime in with their comments and say, no, my father, you know, we're living in a day and age I don't know if you all know, I've been posting a whole bunch of photographs up on Facebook, and I misspelled Frazier Field yesterday. Boy, did I get corrected on that. It is not Frazier, but I don't mind being, and by the way, I also got corrected that Fiesel Motors didn't come after, what was the Ford store? Hodgkins? Not Hodgkins, I got a picture up. But anyway, I'm posting all that out there, and people are just like eating it up, engaging in memories, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to show you a find one day. If I think I got it. Yeah. Lawrence Gibbs. Who knows Lawrence Gibbs? Director of Rusttown Band. Well, he's retired, and he stops by and he says, boy, this place needs help. No kidding. What are your plans? I don't know. I move it forward one day at a time. If this is an empty box, it's gone. So it's in the process. So he sees this and he goes, wow, will you look at that? And I'm like, I don't know. What am I looking at? So let me play this. And I said, let me go get my camera to record. It's only about 2 minutes. It's a Thomas Edison phonograph from 1912. That's what you're looking at. Well, Lawrence just walks right up to it. You'll see. Opens it up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're upstairs at the Lincoln Parish Museum. Lawrence Gibbs running through the house like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
And
You have an Edison phonograph.
an Edison phonograph. So let me kind of zoom in on this baby. And Lawrence goes ooh, and Lawrence goes ah.
It works.
And he's winding it up.
Okay. I think I remember how to do this. Look at that. It looks like the hinge is off the wood.
All right, yeah, well,
Well, here's our device to get it. Let's see. There we go. We'll get in the middle of it. This is Indian love song.
Indian love song.
Watch his face.
A diamond disc,
That's amazing.
isn't it?
It's not electric now.
Most of these were in the early 1900s.
All right, I'll stop that. See, now, he knew how to operate that. That's 1912. The next day he comes by, he says, Rick, can I go up there and see that again? I said, sure, why? Because there's got to be more records. And they're not, records. Well, I got a box of keys. When I talk about a project of restoration, the Lazarus Project, you know, unwrap those grave cloths and come out. I said, Lawrence, I don't know. So I brought the box of keys up. And lo and behold, all sorts of events happened. The one key I picked, opened it. In the bottom of there are 200 records. 200, all from 1912 to 1924. He just finished today. He was coming by every day and cleaning off with alcohol, the rubbing alcohol, cleaning off all the records. So now that project. So what I plan on doing, once again, checking to see that the machine can handle it, that's a diamond needle. He said that needle will never, ever go out. And so what I want to do is play maybe 2 or 3. And Lawrence will talk about the song, since he's the musician, stream it, and so other people can get to experience it as well.
How is it powered?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. All right, what else is happening is I've been finding photographs and posting them. Yeah, Trinity United Methodist Church, and these are the church. Pardon me. Yeah, that's across. The Dixie is to your left. The service station is there as well. So that's not what I wanted to get to, but we all know this one. This one caused a whole lot of excitement. The singing Christmas tree. So that's 1976. Oh yeah, let me get this one for you, because what's happening in town, the Everything Old is New Again, the skate park initiative with the Ruston pool. Let me show you something. And if you don't know what that is, the Ruston pool, they're this close to raising $500,000 to get a $500,000 match to convert that into a state-of-the-art skate park. And your mind may default to a certain type of person that's a skater. I'm here to break that mindset, because I've watched these skates, and I'm not a skater, but it's all ages, phases, stages of life, and they all have a spirit of love, cooperation, and unity. And so that skate park, when it's finished, will draw more people to Ruston, because it already has from Alexandria, Shreveport, Monroe. And so I'm saying all that to say, where is pool? Am I looking? Pardon me?
The Ruston Natatorium.
Oh, is that what it was called?
That's what it was called.
Well, hold that thought. I want to show you a picture
I learned how to swim.
where, and Ernest, there's a plaque there in your honor. I'm kidding. But in 1941, the maneuvers were held, and that building in the back is the North Louisiana Military Museum. So these guys are coming through, and there's the pool. I don't know what they're doing there, if they're getting fed or ice cream, but now is that the natatorium that you're talking about, Ernest, in the back there, the pool houses? I had never seen them before, but they were there. You're not. Did you know George Patton came to town? George Patton's been here twice. I've never known that. That's Patton. And so that's just a new piece of information. So you live and learn. And so that's the beauty of this, is that we get to share stories that we just never knew before, at least for me. Now, let me show you what else is happening.
Are you working with archivists from Louisiana Tech? Does the SUMA continue?
Are you volunteering?
No,
I mean, because this is all...
need a professional archivist.
The answer is yes, not yet. I'll tell you who I'm working with right now at Louisiana Tech. There is so much opportunity for collective working together. I had Tom Futrell, the School of Design. He had never been in the house because he has students that can take this and make a course out of it, and we see what they come up with as far as what would make this place and space relevant. And they come up with the greatest ideas, these students. Another one is Dr. Kevin Singh. I already had him because, are you familiar with the butterfly garden in downtown Ruston? That design of the butterfly garden came out of a course that he gave his students, and they built it. So I met him there. I said, well, look, I'd like for you to look in the backyard here. I have pictures of what the yard used to look like. The gazebo will go back up. However, there's no tree anymore. And in my mind's eye, don't know what they'll come up with, don't know what we'll do. But if something can be designed that can be an outdoor space that'll offer some protection, shade, not that we'll have anything in the middle of summer, but even Lawrence has already said of having a jazz band out there, the Debonair's jazz band, having events in the yard to bring more people to the place and space to create more relevance. So he's already walked the land, so his mind's already stirring. To the archivist, let me say, yeah, hang on a second, 12:41, what time you want me done? All right, I got it. All right, I lost that train of thought, archivist. Oh, 3 days after I got there. So this is like a part-time job for me with a full-time passion. It's another piece of the puzzle for me to set up and do my godly works and streaming, but also get the house in order as well and be a facilitator for that. 3 days after I got there, Bob Pfister, that name ring a bell with anybody? Bob Pfister, a photographer, also a veteran, photographer from Ruston, from what I'm thinking is it could be 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe 60s, 70s, 80s. He bought the business from Red Woodward. That name ring a bell. Another photographer, along with his wife, from the 40s, 50s, maybe 30s through the 50s, who got it from Edwin Davis. Now, is it Edwin Davis? Red Davis, no, is it not? Anyway, Bob Pfister's daughter-in-law dropped off every negative of all of those three photographers. So I have on the floor of the back room 10, maybe 12 boxes of negatives. That's a project I'm not going to do, I can't do, but that is an archivist. Some of the negatives are going to be destroyed because they're, they need to be looked at real quick and taken. So what I've been doing though is somebody has already started this process somewhere in the past, and finding boxes of photographs and taking them and then putting them online. So people are going, wow, that's cool, that's interesting. Well, back to that quote, all sorts of things, people and events come your way. Well, somebody said, you know what? I'm going to colorize them. That changes everything. Our past is not black and white. So the ooh and ah, all right? That's when the PO, or the post office, was the post office. You could even see a mule right here. There's no T.L. James building in this photograph. Pretty cool. And let's see, yeah, Trinity, I think, would have been, oh no, right over here in that corner. But that's across from the Dixie. Watch what happens. Boom, takes on a whole different, he colorized it. This name Andy Cross. And it's just, bringing good things to life. It's more than GE. All right, the Ruston Rifles. Anybody know about them? Besides Burt Jones? He's not the only Ruston rifle. Back in the Spanish-American War, I could talk about that one. That one always kind of, why is it we beat Spain in Cuba and we get the Philippines, not Cuba? Anyway, but that's for a whole nother show, another time. I don't have that answer. The Ruston Rifles, a regiment out of Ruston under E.L. Kidd. The Kidd Davis house is the first people that built the house. They got a regiment together, took off, we're going to go fight. I mean, that's usually what happens when something in the United States, people rise up. We all know that story. So where'd they go? They get down to Florida. That war didn't last too long. That's the Ruston Rifles. Takes on a little bit different hue now when you put some color to it. So the Ruston Rifles. There's 3 uniforms in the upstairs. The museum is rich and deep, but it's eclectic. You know what I mean? We got the Ruston Rifles uniforms, the Thomas Edison phonograph, and the Queen Dixie gem of 1953. Oh, by the way, I think we own Jackson Parish. I'm not sure. Because I found, hidden in the back of a drawer, and I've only scratched the surface, it's a parchment, John Scholar's. Lincoln Parish, by the way, was not here. It was carved out of Jackson Parish primarily with a little piece of Union, with a little piece of Claiborne, with a little piece of Bienville. Alan Green did that, and I'm going to study more on him, the Sesquicentennial. I'm looking at this, and I'm like, this looks like the real deal. It's a land grant, 1842, to John Scholar, signed by Millard Fillmore. What is this doing? I mean, so it's an eclectic array. We have a lot of stuff. So I'm thinking, is any lawyers we can go and maybe we could just take over Jackson Parish and I don't know. And after all, it's the Lincoln Parish Museum. All right, the Louisiana Tech Marching Band of 1932. Rumor has it this is 1 week before Jim Robkin arrived on campus. Boom, now in color. So this is just a neat initiative of what Andy's doing and is out there for others to come alongside and take advantage of. Let me share this as well. I got an email. So by creating this awareness, interest is stirred, desire, and action. AIDA, awareness, interest, desire, action. My name is Becky Weaver. I was a Chandler, born and raised in Ruston. My dad, E.H. Chandler. He ran the old Ruston Furniture Exchange down beside the railroad tracks. My mom, Madge, everybody's got a story. You got a story. If you want to tell it, I'd love to capture it. At Ruston High and later at Glenview. She was born in Spearsville, moved to Ruston after the war, married my dad. I have an old churn that belonged to my mother. It's small, made for a child to use. The story goes that my mother's grandmother gave her the churn when she was a small child. Long story trying to get shorter. She goes, do you want it? My kids don't want it. So we're living in a position in time right now where a lot more stuff's going to be coming our way. I don't want to become the repository, the rolling hills of estate sales. That's not what we're about. But we'll get it. But anyway, so I said, yes, send it, and would be happy to take care of it for you. Well, she sent it, and it got there about a week ago, and it was about that big, the box, and I said, wait a second. I got the tech capability and technology now. I'm going to video an unboxing, because on YouTube right now, if you bought if you want to learn to do anything, where do you learn? You go to YouTube and watch a video about it. And so one of them is called an unboxing. So I'm going to literally unbox it while I have her on the screen as well. And so I can get, like in a provenance way, get more confirmation of what this is, capture those memories, put them out there, and that's just going to stir up more and more and more. So that is a neat thing that's happened that never otherwise would have happened. What else? I may wrap it up. It's 12:48. These pictures will blow your oh, one more, I'm sorry. I haven't been able to place this one yet. Anybody want to take a stab on this? I mean, that says Motors Inc. up here, but it's Chevrolet. It's not Fiesel, but it's Chevy Service. So I don't know this one, but watch. Colorized. Isn't it neat? It's just a... All right. Anybody wants one? In case you want to make a long-distance phone call to 1938, I have replicas of the City Directory of Ruston. Anybody want to give me a name? Give me a name. E.L. Holland. Number was 351. How about First National Bank on North Trenton? Call 208.
What year was that?
1938. Yeah. Oh, how about CRI&P, the Fort Depot, I'm not sure, on West Mississippi? Number 29. Anyway, I got that. There are a bunch of sketches up there as well. We have Maddie Hayes, Baby Hayes, her sketches. I have some of these books if you want to take them. You're welcome to take them while supplies last. And then, just the other day, and I saw outside here, James White, you got his sketches. Well, he donated 80 of his church sketches. So what am I going to do with them? We're going to sit down and James, pull a few sketches out. Tell us about this. You know, and then I'll have the technology. If you're watching live, you type in a question and so it's going to be a way to engage multi-generations, multi-places with all the focus spotlight on Lincoln Parish. So, any questions?
So what's your website going to be called? What are you putting on? Is it going to be on Facebook website?
Well, that's a great question. And I wish I can pull it up here. Am I online?
How do we get to all
Well, give me time. Give me time. I'm still getting roaches off the floor. And I mean bugs, not party roaches. No, Dr. Jacobs, last year, I'm going to show you all something too. This is kind of neat. Remember I came in here and talked about it, all things local, all things Lincoln? Well, that was a year ago, and that's kind of been inchworming, but everything's a learning process. I'm pleased on how it's going and growing, but it ain't there yet. Oh gosh, I don't know if I'm going to get... Well, no, don't do it. But it's atl-lincoln.com. Here it is. And so I designed, the website was designed, if we're online, here it is. So it's all streaming live from Lincoln Parish, streaming live from Lincoln Parish. And if you can see what's behind here, that's the museum that I used as a background a year ago before I ever came into this position. So it's, it'll be here, and I'll get it. I'm not ready to start yet, but here's the beauty of that also. I can record it, put it on a YouTube, and you can watch it later. So it's not like you got to be there at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. You see what I'm saying? We're living in a day and age where you can get information on demand on your terms and time. So, but yeah, it's right there, the Lincoln Parish Library. I thought that was kind of neat. So if you are on Facebook, Lincoln Parish Museum and Historical Society, please like us, because what I've been doing now, there's a site called You Grew Up in Ruston If. They have about 5,000 members. I've been throwing a lot of information there because I want to navigate some of them over to our page. I'm owning their page, and I don't want to do that. I want to have our page. So friend us up, and then please invite your friends to like us. And I know you probably don't know how to do that. Call me. I'll help you guide through it. And so to help us grow that way. What's that? Yes, sir. Well, no, they're not on Facebook. No, they've moved down somewhere else now, but I'm still Facebook. Randy.
Is the building large enough to do all this?
9,900 feet, 22 rooms. Yes, if you remember, again, we want to get organized, a little bit more efficient. The first 4 rooms, there's been discussion where we're going to keep those as rooms of authenticity, because there's some fine pieces of furniture in there. And they will be as it were, in whatever day that we choose from either 1890 or early 1900s. Then we have other rooms that we can utilize for exhibits. Another one is education. I see a tremendous, matter of fact, we were this close, they tell me, because of getting a program. The Boys and Girls Club of North Central Louisiana does a great job of having students come over there after school and learn. Well, we can have that too, not to that scale, but we can have it because there's a big room in the back, yes. So I think so. Yes, sir.
I had actually marched in the very first Peace Festival, and you know who sponsored the Peace Festival?
The Hattacall.
Dudley, yeah.
The Hattacall guy. Did you ever have some of that?
Well, it's 50 proof. It's,
50 proof, yeah.
and it'll cure COVID. I mean, maybe you'll share whether you had it or not.
You're exactly right, and I wasn't here at the time, but I've read about it, and there's so much great music that I heard about Hattacall. There's so many. Jerry Lee Lewis did a song about the Hattacall bounce because things happened after you had Hattacall. And Dudley LeBlanc, he gave money for that first Peach Festival. So he was the initial sponsor.
And they made a mistake. That was the first time they had done it, but the horses that carried the flag were in front of the parade. Now, I played clarinet, so I could see the ground. Or the trombone player. I don't know. The next year, they put the horses in the back.
Everybody's got a story. Yes, sir.
Question, back to Chevrolet dealership. If you look at that photo, in the background, an elevated water storage tank.
Okay, let me.
In 1848, Ruston built a new elevated storage tank there where the armory used to be, where the Boys and Girls Club is. It's been torn down the last 10 years. But that water tank in the background, I suspect, was on the site of the old fire station.
Well, let me. I have the old fire station. Let me think. Stay focused, Rick. Picture scan, because this one picture for me is. I love this one. I showed it to you, Kip. Downtown Ruston. Where's downtown Ruston? Here it is. And Park Avenue, looking west. Look at this one. This one is. There's your water tank. But this is Fiesel or the Ford. Yeah, that's. What else is here that do you see?
That three-story building, if I'm not mistaken, was called Price Hardware Building, and it burned, I can't remember what year.
Yeah, that's where Bayou Axe is now. This is KRUS Studios. This is Ponchatoula's. This is Sundown. But look at the cars. The cars are awesome. I mean, to me, when I see this, you know, it's my mind's weird anyway, but I think Twilight Zone, but I also think It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, and then you ask these questions that sound like you're so smart, and it was Raymond Roberts. I said, Raymond, you know how many gas stations were downtown? I said, Raymond, how come so many gas? Rick, there was no outside of town. You know, it wasn't Farmerville Highway. There was, duh. So you had churches downtown, you had gas stations downtown. What else did you have? I mean, it's just to see that. They're building the Piggly Wiggly. There's Ruston High School. That's where the Civic Center is, correct. Ruston High. That's still around. That's the Ruston Hardware and Furniture Store. David Hedgepeth Interior, there it is, Ruston Hard. But the cars, man, the cars to me blow. These things weren't made out of fiberglass. I know. So anyway, oh yeah, this is Champs. There's Ruston Pharmacy. That, I don't know if that was the hospital or the hotel at the time, but you find, yesterday, I told you, I put up Fraser Field and misspelled it. Well, excuse me. Any other questions, man? If you have any ideas, any thoughts, please contact me. And there's a hunger and thirst.
I think Bob Fisher's daughter or wife, they put out a little booklet at one time on some of those models. I mean, I don't know. Because I used to tell them at the Beach Festival.
Right. She's still alive from what I understand. Yes, from what I'm hearing. But yeah, I haven't found, there's still so much more to find, but thank you. Man, by the way, oh, you're welcome. If it wasn't for, we all know Robert Rust. Do we know who Wooten Richardson is?
Robert Rust bought the property.
That's right. But we don't hear anything about Wooten Richardson. And if it wasn't for Wooten Richardson, this other guy, Dabney, who worked for the very slow and pokey Vicksburg, Shreveport, and Pacific Railroad, Vernon was a metropolis. Vienna was a metropolis. Those were the centers of growth. But because the railroad came here, Vernon is what it is now, and Vienna is what it is now. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you know about